All right, good. So the title, since we can't know essence, all right, or nature, so I put man in quotation marks, all right? Man and the Goldfish Bowl. Who needs reality anyways? We've gone through, well, one thing here I just want to say first. Notice how many books I have on my desk, all right? One, Stephen Hawking, The Grand Design. I don't need really, there's no need for any big apologetic tome that refutes Stephen Hawking. All I'm going to do is read from his own writings, okay? In fact, I think I'm just reading from chapter 1 and chapter 2 of this book, all right? So I'm not making anything up. I'm simply reading what he says himself, all right? So as you remember, Hawking was used, he's going through this whole history of science to finally culminate in his own thought, okay? And he's going through the history of science, and he gets to the classical physicists, all right? The physicists from the 1600s and 1700s. We're talking about Kepler, Galileo, Descartes, and Newton. And we find that he likes some things, he wants to save some things, like their focus on law, that nature has laws, okay? And if we remember, just to show you that this is just anti-Aristotelianism, not anti-Christian, when the apple fell on Newton's head, right? That's the story, just like dropping the balls off the Tower of Pisa. When the apple fell on Newton's head, what dawned on him and one of his contributions to physics is that he said that the same laws of nature that exist in the terrestrial realm, all right, also they call it the sublunary realm, the realm below the moon, okay, existed in the terrestrial realm, in the celestial realm, in the realm of the heavens. So that Newton is teaching that the same laws that apply to the earth also apply to the heavens. All right? They apply universally. Aristotle said that there were different laws of motion that applied below the moon in the terrestrial realm, as opposed to those laws of motion which existed in the celestial realm. So Newton is saying there's universal laws of nature. And he says that God created those laws of nature. There's a specific creator who creates a specific nature governed by specific laws. Okay? Makes sense. All fits together. Well, Hawking likes the idea that, or he seems to, we'll read the next chapter. He likes the idea that okay, now man has realized after, 199,700 years of ignorance about nature, okay? And about everything, really. Now, finally, man has with the classical physicists, man finally realizes that nature is governed by laws, okay? After all that time. So he's happy with that. What he's not happy with is the idea that for these classical physicists, Galileo, Descartes, Kepler, Newton, they had no problem with the joining together of the idea that there's a God and that there's laws of nature. For them, the two went hand in hand, necessarily so. So Hawking's going to have to do something about that. He doesn't like that too much. Okay? But he starts out where the classical physicists leave off. This is what he's going to say. Okay, he's going to say, now they've proven, we're in about 1700 something, these have proven that nature is governed by laws. Okay, nature is governed by laws. Okay, we take that from them. Throw out God, but take that. Okay? What follows? If nature is governed by laws, okay, three questions emerge. If nature is governed by laws, three questions emerge. Question number one, what is the origin of the laws? All right, question number one, what is the origin of the laws? Question number two, are there any exceptions to the laws? Meaning, are miracles possible? Are there any exceptions to the laws? Meaning, are miracles possible? That's what he says. Number three, is there only one set of possible laws? Number three, is there only one set of possible laws? Okay. Now I'm reading him now. Okay, this is him, not me. Set him up there. Okay. Now, okay, that's my bit. I was going to, now I put on my notes, now the attack, okay. Okay, this is him. The answer traditionally given to the first question, namely, what is the origin of the laws? The answer traditionally given to the first question, the answer of Kepler, the answer of Galileo, the answer of Descartes and Newton, was that the laws were the work of God. Okay? So, okay. What about the second question? Are there any exceptions to the laws, namely miracles? Are miracles possible? If you have natural laws operative in nature, are miracles possible? And this is what he says. If one takes the biblical view, then God not only created the laws, but can be appealed to by prayer to make exceptions to the laws. All right, so this is what he says. If one takes the biblical view, then God not only created the laws, but can be appealed to by prayer to make exceptions. He continues. All Christian thinkers, including Kepler, Galileo, Descartes, Newton, all Christian thinkers held that God must be able to suspend the laws to accomplish miracles. I think I put quotation marks around that word suspend, okay? Because I'm not sure that's the best way to put it, but that's what he says. I asked the question, can God act within the laws of nature, right? Can God act within the laws of nature? He sort of loads the whole issue, forces you into this false dichotomy of God or natural laws by giving you that, putting that word in suspends. Okay? If one takes, okay, so God, not only are we talking about miracles, but we're also talking about prayer. Because being human beings, we pray for God to intervene in some way in our lives. Okay? Okay. Well, Hawking's view, which he says which speaks about over and over again in this text, is that if there is the possibility of miracles, there cannot be any laws of nature. If there is the possibility of miracles, there cannot be any laws of nature. So he sets up this dichotomy. Miracles and a request for miracles by prayer, and then laws of nature. Choose one. You see, he keeps driving you in the way that he wants you to go, forcing you to take one of the false, options in this false dichotomy. Okay, so if you have miracles, if you even allow for miracles, say God hasn't performed any miracles, even if there's the possibility of miracles, you can't believe in the laws of nature. Okay, I'm going to quote him now. A complete set of laws, and I need you to write this down too, because you're gonna have to whip this out and use it against him at one point in time, okay? But this is his statement. It's one paragraph. A complete set of laws fully determines both the future and the past. Fully determines both the future and the past. This would exclude the possibility of miracles or an active role for God. This would exclude the possibility of miracles or an active role for God. This scientific determinism, notice the word, determinism, underline that. This scientific determinism is the modern scientist's answer to question 2. This scientific determinism that everything is set from beginning to end, from past to future, set in stone, all events, is the modern scientist's answer to question 2, meaning, are miracles possible? Modern science, he says no. No. He goes on, he goes further. He's pushing it further. He says this. It is in fact this idea that there cannot, if you have laws of nature, you cannot have even the possibility of miracles. It is in fact the basis of all modern science. It is, in fact, the basis of all modern science. And on my notes, I have not for the founders of modern science, right? For the founders of quantitative physics, Kepler, Galileo, Descartes. Just one little thing about Descartes. When he had his famous dreams, which told him to basically establish a whole new physics, all right, and dump Aristotle, he believed that it was a divine mission given to him. Like God intervened through his dreams. And in thanksgiving for those dreams, René Descartes, okay, vowed pilgrimage to the holy house of Loreto outside of Rome, okay, to thank Our Lady for this grace. Okay? So, with regard to this, you can't have laws of nature in modern physics and God and miracles, Well, I wrote on the side, well, who says? Certainly not Descartes. Certainly not Descartes. Okay, and this now we keep going with his own words. A scientific law is not a scientific law if it holds only when some supernatural being decides not to intervene. I repeat, a scientific law is not a scientific law if it holds only when some supernatural being decides to intervene. In other words, you can't have laws, you can't have science, you can't have order in nature if you have a God. The exact opposite of what all the thinkers said before. Exact opposite. Who said the order of nature depends on there being an orderer. And he cites Laplace, who was Marquis of something or other. Okay, I can't remember. The physicist Laplace, who was presenting his theories to Napoleon Bonaparte, who was emperor of France at the time. And Napoleon asked, well, all these theories and this view of nature, Laplace, how does God fit into this picture? And Laplace replied, "Sire, I have not needed that hypothesis." So, and that's sort of, Stephen Hawking's view. But Napoleon Bonaparte, enemy of the church for so many years, who, by the way, died a repentant, sincere Catholic with all the sacraments, asking forgiveness from the Pope, by the way, for all that he did in his life. He's asking Laplace, well, what about God? How does he fit in? Okay, here he goes further. And here I want you to really let it burn here through your mind, okay? Because this is the, what do they call it? The fire, and just when you're, like the Russians, they backed off from Napoleon and they set everything on fire. It's called scorched earth policy. So we're engaged in a scorched earth policy here. Okay, we're going to burn them down. Okay, so not only does he reject God, but this is what he says. And we're thinking, oh, nice Stephen Hawking, oh, nice modern Stephen Hawking, oh, nice atheistic liberator of mankind and our will, right? Wrong. Many, and these are his words. Many, however, while accepting that scientific determinism govern physical processes, would make an exception for human behavior because they believe that we have free will. It's a good one, so I'll just say this. Many, however, while accepting that scientific determinism govern physical processes, would make an exception for human behavior because they believe they have free will. So let's be clear here. Hawking is denying free will. He's just like he denies God, just like he denies miracles, just like he denies the immortality of the soul. He's also going to deny freedom for God, for man, everybody. No freedom. That's good to think about, though. When you get rid of God and the possibility of knowing God, ultimately you're going to get rid of all the things that make human life significant. All the things that are essential to human life. And you're also going to get rid of something that modern man pretends to hold dear, freedom. You have to get rid of that too when you get rid of God. Okay? Here we go. We're still reading from him. Though we feel that we can choose what we do, our understanding of the molecular basis of biology shows that biological processes are governed by the laws of physics and chemistry, and therefore are as determined as the orbits of the planets. Let me just repeat that again. Though we feel that we can choose what we do, and this includes even good and evil, right? We feel that we can choose to be bad or even evil or good. Our understanding of the, meaning modern science, of the molecular basis of biology shows that biological processes are governed by the laws of physics and chemistry, and therefore are as determined as the orbits of the planets. Here he goes. We are no more than biological machines, and free will is just an illusion. Let that sink in too. We are no more than biological machines, and free will is just an illusion. Morality, this is still him. Morality and ethics is also an illusion, because it is based upon the notion of free will, plus the assumption that people evaluate their possible alternative courses of action and choose the best. That's an illusion. This book is rooted in the concept of scientific determinism, which implies that the answer to question 2, whether it can be miracles, freedom, choice. This book is rooted in the concept of scientific determinism, which applies that the answer to question 2 is that there are no miracles or exceptions to the laws of nature. There are no miracles or exceptions to the laws of nature. He leaves us there, okay? So we have a totally machine universe. We find ourselves in a totally machine universe. And all the things which we think characterize human life, a soul, free thought, free will, the intervention of God, the importance of prayer, that's an illusion. We live, he says, or he leads us to think, that we live in a complete machine universe. Remember, I said, don't look so much at what he, at this point, says about the world. Look at what he rejects. Okay? This theory has allowed him to reject what? God, freedom, the soul, morality, ethics, good, evil. That's out. That's sliced out. Machine universe. I don't know. Okay. I don't have any picture in mind for machine universe. I usually have a little thing there somehow, but just a machine. Okay. Because even if you put a little car there, a little picture, okay, something, okay. Even if you put a little picture of a car, all right, okay, window, lights. I mean, someone's got to turn on the car, right? Someone's got to turn on the car, so that doesn't quite work. It's a self-moving car, okay, and just, it's like a, Elon Musk's self-driving car. It's a self-driving car that was never started, okay? That started itself, okay? But that didn't actually, it started itself. A self-driving car that started itself, okay? So there it goes. And you're in the car, and you have no idea where it's going. It's not really intending to go anywhere. You're just you're there for the ride, okay? You're just zooming and hoping for the best, I guess. Okay. Is this the world that Stephen Hawking wants to present to us? Well, actually, no. What does he want to present? Look how he leads us. Look what he says next paragraph. But as we ponder the manner in which we observe and form concepts about our surroundings. Well, just notice this slight change here. As we ponder the manner in which we observe and form concepts about our surroundings, we're sort of on a different road already. He's turned off on side road. This is within one sentence. First of all, he's telling us how the world is, okay? We think he is. But then he's talking about his concepts, our concepts. Okay. You got to realize he's driving us along to get us where he wants us to go. But as we ponder the manner in which we observe and form concepts about our surroundings, we bump into the question. This is the question. We bump into this question. If we're thinking about this reality that he's presenting, if we're thinking about this reality, we necessarily bump into this question. Here's the question that he asks. Do we really have reason to believe that an objective reality exists? I repeat, I capitalized every letter in this statement here. Do we really have reason to believe that an objective reality exists? Do we? So now he's questioning not God, not freedom, objective reality itself. Well, I mean, he's thinking, he's moving logically along. He asks the question. We can't ask ourselves questions about reality unless we answer the question, what is reality? Okay, what is reality? So that's the question he's asking. What is reality? And he pulls out a pretty interesting analogy and example. The goldfish. All right? The goldfish of Monza, Italy. All right? Okay, now I can do something here. Okay. Is that too big for a goldfish? Okay. Oh, look at this. Okay. Okay. Just to add some visuals. Okay, the goldfish of Monza. Now we're going to put that down too. Goldfish of Monza. Goldfish of Monza. This is his example. Yeah, Monza is a city in Italy. Okay, I'm not sure where it is, but it's a city in Italy. And this is what he said. This is what he says. A few years ago, the city council of Monza, Italy, barred pet owners from keeping goldfish in curved goldfish bowls. I got to ask one question of the monks. I have to at this moment. Okay, so I'm going to repeat again. A few years ago, the city council of Monza, Italy, forbade pet owners from keeping goldfish in curved goldfish bowls. Why?
Maybe the bowl rolled off a table under somebody.
Hurts it? No. Oh, no. It has to do with the goldfish. It's not somebody else. Goldfish, it's a... Goldfish? Why would they ban curved goldfish bowls?
They're restricting.
Maybe goldfish was swimming in circles and some illusion that it was getting somewhere.
Well, curved, if you look out from a curved goldfish bowl, what?
You're not seeing reality.
You're not seeing the outside world as it actually is. And these Italians, they're worried about these goldfish. I mean, imagine Americans doing this. I can't. The city council of, well, maybe Silver City, okay? But, most places, no. But in Italy, they care. So, the measure's sponsor, The realism of the Italians, right? You gotta love it. You gotta love it. The measure's sponsor explained that the measure in part, he explained the measure in part by saying that it is cruel to keep a fish in a bowl with curved sides because gazing out, the fish would have a distorted view of reality. Okay, okay, this is supposed to be a book about physics. We're talking about goldfish. Well, what is he going to do to us now here? What is this? Why this example? But, okay, then his question. But how do we know? But how do we know that true, undistorted picture of reality? Repeat. But how do we know that true, undistorted picture of reality? And I underline this section here. Might not we ourselves also be inside some big goldfish bowl and have our vision distorted by enormous lenses? I'll repeat that. This is his question. Might not we ourselves also be inside some big goldfish bowl and have our vision distorted by enormous lenses? Okay. This is what I put in my own notes. So in other words, he's saying, well, couldn't that be us? The little goldfish in the curved goldfish bowl, seeing a distorted view of reality and thinking it's the real one? And this is what I put in my notes. But, we're the little goldfish in the curved goldfish bowl, but not Stephen Hawking, okay? He's acting like he's the goldfish in the non-curved goldfish bowl, okay? Because his view is correct. He sees things as they are. He's the goldfish from Monza, okay? He's got a regular goldfish bowl. Because he sees things exactly as they are. Okay. He's Stephen Hawking, the goldfish from Monza. I like it. Now, what about us? What if we're like the goldfish in the curved goldfish bowl? How might we see reality? As the goldfish moved along the curved bowl, the goldfish could formulate scientific laws from their distorted frame of reference that would always hold true and that would enable them to make predictions about the future motion of objects outside the bowl. If the goldfish formulated such a theory, we would have to admit that the goldfish's view was a valid picture of reality. But it's a distorted view, no? The goldfish bowl is curved, no? Why do we have to admit that the goldfish in this bowl could present laws to us that were internally consistent, therefore they're valid? I mean, the faces look long. How would the faces look in a goldfish bowl? If someone was looking into a curved goldfish bowl, what would people look like? I don't know. We don't usually take this. Would it be expansive? Okay. Would it be expanded? Okay. So, I mean, all right, this face, all right. So your face would be, little Johnny's face looking into his goldfish bowl would be like this, huge. Well, and every time the goldfish looks, Johnny's face is huge. So if he made laws of nature based on that, well, then it's going to work all the time. Johnny's face is always huge. Right? So every time he does the calculations, all works out the same. And it works. I mean, I can predict what Johnny's face is going to look like every time he sticks his face close to the goldfish bowl, right? But guess what? Johnny's face is not like that. But who are we to criticize the goldfish? If a goldfish formulated such a theory, we would have to admit the goldfish's view as a valid picture of reality. What would this be? What is this but pure, unadulterated subjectivism? Okay? What is this stuff other than pure, unadulterated subjectivism? Okay? Except, of course, his scientists, mathematicians get to formulate, they're in the goldfish bowl and they get to formulate the theories, and not you. It's pure subjectivism. That's where we are? That's where we're left? That's what we're left with? Oh, no. So when God goes out the window, the human soul goes out the window, morality goes out the window, good and evil goes out the window, right and wrong goes out the window, and guess what? Objective reality goes out the window. And here he goes. This is page 42, in case they let you buy this book. Okay? Page 42. Let me get a picture of it. You got any picture on that page? Oh, no, there's no picture on that page. But okay, well, there's a cartoon, but this is what he says, page 42. A conclusion that will be, this is a conclusion that will be important in this book. This is a conclusion he's drawing that he says will be important in this book. There is no picture or theory. I got to say it again. There is no picture or theory-independent concept of reality. In other words, there's no reality other than seen through the curved goldfish bowl. There is no picture or theory-independent concept of reality. There's no possibility of understanding objective reality as it is in itself. I thought you were, what about this? What about the driverless car? This Elon Musk's, he's not going to be the fourth richest man in the world anymore. I mean, this is terrible, okay? Because we were just told that the universe is just like a machine, that you can't stop it. It's just going. And you can't even intervene. Not even God can intervene. And yet now you say no such reality exists. Why? Because no objective reality exists. There is no picture or theory independent concept of reality. Let me just finish this. I got to read him. I got a few minutes, but I'm going to read him. Classical science is based on the belief, meaning classical physics, is based on the belief that there exists a real external world whose properties are definite and independent of the observer who perceived them. According to classical science, certain objects exist and have physical properties, such as speed and mass, that are well-defined values. In this view, our theories are attempts to describe these objects and their properties, and our measurements and perceptions correspond to these objects. Both observer and observed are parts of a world that has an objective existence, and any distinction between them has no meaningful significance. In other words, if you see a herd of zebras fighting for a spot in a parking garage, it is because there is really a herd of zebras fighting for a spot in the parking garage. Okay. Yes. All right. Mm-hmm. But you realize here that he's mocking this idea. You realize that. Then when you see a herd of zebras fighting for a spot in the parking garage, and you say, well, that's a herd of zebras fighting for a parking spot, he's mocking that idea. All other observers will measure the same properties, and the herd will have those properties whether anyone observes them or not. In philosophy, that belief is called realism. Though realism may be a tempting viewpoint, as we'll see later, maybe. What we know about modern physics makes it a difficult one to defend. I won't read that yet. Okay. In fact, so he says there is no objective existence to the universe. And what about all the things we got rid of in order to establish that objective machine universe? Can we bring them back now? Of course, no. Of course, no. You can't bring them back now. Our perceptions, and hence and this is him, our perceptions and hence the observations upon which our theories are based are not direct, but rather are shaped by a kind of lens, by a kind of lenses, the interpretive structure of our human brains. So the brain shapes reality rather than reality shaping the mind. That's where we're left. Okay.